Brosnan, handsome fella, right?
Sure.
I'd do him.
What do you guys think of Pierce?
I love Pierce.
Pierce.
Pierce is hot.
He's hot, man.
He's hot. He is
I
hot.
think he's handsome. I don't know if hot, but I think
He
he's
is
handsome.
hot,
handsome
he's
are
sexy,
synonymous.
and he's handsome.
All right,
It stays in the broccoli family.
Remember, kids, eat your vegetables.
Yes. He's smooth.
Bond fucks good,
Yeah.
you know, and that makes him mad, I guess.
I, too, would be mad.
Get on with the show.
Oh, no, we're showing right now, baby.
Wow.
The chocolate is already
shower,
in
not a
Harley's
grower.
pants.
Or grower, not whatever.
Small penis.
Hey, guys. Yes, that's what I meant. All right, so we are here. Tomorrow never dies. Do you know that? What's happening right now?
He's making
What?
it.
Oh, my
Oh, I
goodness.
just saw it.
How am
I
I
really
going to
couldn't,
reverse all that?
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
How do we-
Yeah, so
Control
tomorrow,
minus.
What is it called? Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
We are here today with Tomorrow Never Dies, a James Bond presentation. As always, your weekly explosion of James Bond entertainment.
And
I was trying to just kind of intro us in, man.
let me just say, I am tickled pink to say this is not the worst James Bond movie yet.
It is not. It is not. Tyler, would you rather be being chased down by a polar bear or watching this movie tonight?
Watching this movie tonight.
It's not a bad movie, right?
A stark difference from some of the James Bond movies we have seen today.
Yes.
Also, though, I would rather watch any James Bond movie than get chased by said polar bear.
See,
Well, you know,
what's,
it sets the tone. I
what's
like the tone
important to
means.
note is the distance between you and the polar
the tone
bear.
being set
Okay.
as very low standards.
Would you rather? Would you rather have a polar bear very hungry, a quarter-mile away from you,
Same scenario,
or
kind of.
watch this movie?
Kind of the same
A
scenario.
quarter-mile?
Polar bears aren't endurance runners, so I don't really think they'd be willing to run the quarter mile for you.
But it's really cold. Are you really?
How about we come up with a different scenario?
Okay.
Not involving a polar bear.
Okay. Would you rather have a black bear like a quarter-mile away from
Not
you?
involving bears. How's that?
Okay, dude.
a jackal.
I don't have one. Let's move on. So Tomorrow Never Dies.
I can only think about bears.
Tomorrow Never Dies. We're here.
It's almost unbearable.
What do you guys think of Pierce? What do you guys think of Pierce? What do you guys think of Pierce?
I love
Pierce.
Pierce. Pierce is hot.
He's hot, man.
He's hot. He is
I
hot.
think he's handsome. I don't know if hot, but I think he's
He is
handsome.
hot.
Handsome
He's
are
sexy,
synonymous.
and he's handsome.
I think he's hot most of the time, handsome all the time, sexy certain times, and fuckable never. But that's just me. Everyone's opinion is different, Tyler. I know you think certain men are hot. Well, you've talked about how much you think other men are hot. So
Yeah.
you go ahead. Me and Jason don't think women are hot. You go ahead and guys are hot. But that's fine, Tyler. We're here with... he hates it. He's so mad. He hates it. He's so yeah.
Aliens.
Hey, don't get physical with me, motherfucker. He really...
I don't get physical, I get fiscal.
He did. He's like... You're like a petty pastor right now. You're like, what you got? Huh? What you gonna do? Huh? You're gonna assault... That's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna take it too far.
I wasn't trying to get your nose. I wasn't
I know.
trying to
You've seen it here first, folks. The first slap
Okay.
fight on Content
I'm not
Crisis.
gonna do that. That's what I'm saying. Just chill. Like, I know you're upset. All right, my bad.
I'm
okay?
not getting upset. I was trying to flip your hat. It's funny.
You scratched me. Okay.
I scratched you.
What movie did we see
Did I
today?
scratch you?
Yeah, you scratched me a little bit.
I'm sorry.
You scratched me a
Did
little
you
bit.
scratch his soul?
I don't want. Listen, motherfucker. Okay, listen. I don't want financial. I want financial compensation. Is what I want. Okay, that's what I want. All right. That's what I want.
The whole wallet.
Honestly, for a scratch, I'm going $6.
Oh shit.
Maybe
Barney,
7.
what else can I do to you?
Well, I mean, what else?
I got a couple 20s. I mean, beat
Yeah,
you,
I'll say it's
break you, whatever,
115.
you know.
I've
You
got
any
a.
yen? Yeah, I'll take some.
I've
Oh
got
my God.
one real.
Is that
from
Qatar? Yeah, I'll take some Qatar money.
How do you obtain Qatar currency?
I guess you just have to know people who were there.
I mean, you know, what do you call them? Qatarians? Qatarists?
Well, you ever seen Avatar?
Careful.
You ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I've seen.
Katara.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Katara.
She's
there you
hot.
go.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
She's a cartoon kid, so I don't know if she's hot. Katara's the one with like the water powers, right?
Let's not start calling kids hot now.
Well, we had this conversation. I feel like we should probably break the ice to the goddamn audience, huh? We had this conversation. Pierce Brosnan, handsome fella, right?
Sure.
I'd do him.
Hot, questionable.
Yeah, and my argument was
But
I
you know
think
what? I don't
handsome
wanna-
and
I don't
hot are
wanna-
synonymous.
I don't know if they're synonymous. Hot. That word I feel like is reserved for people that are hot.
Well,
I would call an old man handsome, but I wouldn't call him hot.
See, well, here's my mindset, right? Handsome would be like something that wraps around somebody. So, like, if they wear clothes, they're clean shaven, they have a nice haircut, anybody can be handsome. Hot is more of like a general aesthetic that is just the person themselves with their facial features, their non-changeable features.
Just hot.
And then we went into further discussion about sexy, where sexy is more so the presentation of what is there. That's where I'm at. That makes all kinds of sense.
That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. I'm just kind of a curmudgeon and generally a schmuck. So when it comes to arguments, I'll just keep bringing it up until.
Well, if you wouldn't mind
somebody
shutting the schmuck up so we can get on him.
Man, it will not happen. But we can move on.
all I'm saying is, my wife, I dare call her a woman.
Sure.
She said Pierce Brosnan.
She did say he was hot, so I mean, I trust.
Hot like a parked car.
I trust her estrogen. So you know what I mean. Like she's got to at least see something. You know what I mean?
Something there.
For sure. So we got Pierce out of the way. What did you think of? We didn't really take any great notes for this movie, by the way.
No, see what happened is I didn't take my notes, and then I kind of remembered halfway through because I usually watch it once and then I take notes. Here, it didn't happen. I got caught up because we recorded a little live reaction type deal as we were watching the movie.
So
that was fun. So I got a couple slight ones. I got our Bondisms.
Oh, okay, sure. We got some Bondisms. Cool.
You know, to open the movie.
Yeah.
Again, let's talk about the opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
First of all.
Very action hero movie.
Very action hero movie. Biggest problem with that first opening scene for me is we went back to the model of opening scene having nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Just some guys with some bombs.
That was literally going to be my question. Like, what did you think of that?
Probably in Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, some Russian place you can't pronounce. You know, it's spelled
Canada.
It's pretty easy, bro.
yeah, you just kind of hack your way through it. It's all good. But so there's something about plutonium. Don't blow the place up because if that missile gets there, there's going to be plutonium. It'll make Chernobyl look like a happy little accident or something. Or what the fuck do you say? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you, buddy.
But you know, the missile's coming, and then Bond proceeds to blow up everything there, and then the missile comes. So somehow that makes it better with the plutonium and the radiation or something.
Yeah, I don't know much about plutonium, uranium, neptunium. I mean, I know nothing. So
aluminium.
Yeah,
You know?
aluminium, aluminum.
I hear we're getting rakes made of that.
Yeah, nitrogen,
thinking,
helium, helium.
Halo.
Yeah, like I don't know, dude. You know what I mean?
No idea.
So
Plutonium might not even be a real element.
I don't think so.
It might not be.
Yeah.
So something about plutonium, but Bond blowing up everything on the base makes it better.
Mm-hmm.
And then he flies away.
Well, that's what Putin thinks, I think.
If you just blow up all the plutonium.
Yeah, well, if you see, like, you know, we might as well nuke Chernobyl. It's like, you know, kind of like a double negative. It's like, makes it positive. You know?
If you put so much radiation there,
on radiation, and you're like,
it'll cancel itself out.
It'll make like
we can repopulate Chernobyl.
It'll make it'll make like a new Fortnite or something. You know what I mean? It'll be like, wow, like the game of the century. I don't know.
Fortnite 2. Can you imagine?
Man,
The Fortnitening. We already got Overwatch 2.
dude. Quick aside. I mean, I'm gonna play Overwatch 2 for probably about 15 to 75 hours a week. So I don't know if it's gonna like make my life better or worse. But I'm gonna be arguing with like 16-year-olds for the next like 3 or 4 months straight.
Yeah. Sounds like
As long as I can still play as Roadhog and hook people into a pit, I think I'll be fine.
You will be able to, but it's like just you have no backup. Before it was like, okay, I got my other tank to kind of like
because you had 6 teams, right? Now you're 5 team.
Yeah, now you're 1 tank. Before it was 2 tanks. So, you don't understand. So the tank was the person who absorbed damage.
I don't need to know. You guys can just do your...
All right, well, anyway, so we're talking about Odd Job, all right? So...
no, you can have a side conversation. I don't have to know
it's not interesting. It's not interesting.
It's... Okay. Is it not?
No, it's literally not. Is it interesting? I don't think so.
I've mostly run out of talking points for it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Overwatch sucks.
I was really hoping he was going to wrap it up at the end of what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to end your topic for me.
No, like Roadhog, hooking in people in the holes. Yeah,
that was my only strategy in that game.
That's what I'm saying.
I could hook people and draw them in.
I could really.
Sometimes they fell in holes.
I could talk for a few hours about the game, but no one wants to hear me bitch about Overwatch 2.
Tune in next week for Overwatch Crisis.
Yeah.
Crisis.
Right.
Yeah. We'll just let you solo on that one.
If I had
camera right here, like just Harley faced.
I could have a YouTube
then the other
channel.
thing.
I could have a YouTube channel where I just bitch about Overwatch 2, but
seems a little overdone.
It seems like it's like
already
people already have those channels. It's like, God, I'm fucking, you know what I mean? It's like, God, shut up.
There's definitely a plethora of people on the internet speaking their opinion, and no one cares.
Yes.
Just like this podcast.
Right here.
It's your boys.
Anyway, so they'll print anything these days, they said.
And speaking of things they'll print, it is news.
Yes.
And what's the best kind of news? The news you make for yourself. What's this movie about, Tyler?
Tomorrow's news today.
Wow.
Elliot, whatever the fuck is his name. Carver. He is his main motive in this movie.
That's how you do a fucking segue. Just so you know. In case you're wondering.
Elliot Carver is trying to... he wants the media rights to China.
Mm-hmm.
Because China's like, hey, we
China
don't
number one.
Media rights.
We've all had Chinese.
Right. Food. And he's got news going everywhere else in the world. And he's not happy with that. And so because I guess maybe he's trying to improve his bottom line. These big business types, they're always trying to move up
these big
more money. I gotta think the more you control the narrative, the greater control he can make. If he owns China, which we're looking at late 90s, I'm sure that's a pretty big economic influence on the U.S. at this point, and many of other countries because of electronics and whatnot. I'm sure there's some stuff that can be done there. There's still a financial gain to be had by all right, this untapped market, getting to China. Maybe elections coming soon. There's something to be had there.
Well, sure, yeah. I guess that's basically what he's saying is he just wants all the influence for all the world.
Yeah.
But also...
If only he knew TikTok was coming in just 20 years, he'd be able to influence everybody.
Yeah. But if we go the bad summary route, it's like, guy wants to sell more newspapers is the summary of this movie.
It's Newsies, but worse.
Anyway, that opening scene is... some guy gets launched out of the back of a plane. Who was
we just got James in a chokehold, yeah.
And for some reason, that makes the plane above blow up. Just a person flying into it.
Yeah.
But Bond says, backseat drivers. Also,
backseat drivers.
Brosnan's voice, it's not, because obviously we're addicted to doing the Connery, oh, shush.
My dick's in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm going to rape you.
Yeah.
We can't get past that. We keep harping on it because it's the most fun to do.
Yeah, it's easy. It's so easy.
Well, Brosnan truly has just kind of the smoothest. He's smooth.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's smooth, but it's not dynamic. He doesn't have a lot of inflections or anything. He keeps a pretty steady cadence with his talk. He doesn't fluctuate his tone much. He's very even-toned.
A line graph of his performance doesn't do a lot of this.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just steady growth throughout the movie.
I think it's pretty. Maybe not.
Maybe not growthy.
European syndrome, but I would say it's more kind of flat. You're right, though. I don't think it's this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think he's pretty steady. He gets vocal inflections, he gets some energy in scenes to match whatever's going on. But overall, he's got a pretty narrow range that he keeps his voice, his tone, his cadence within.
Yeah. And so, as we move on into the rest of the movie, again, the next scene would have been far better as the opening of the movie. Not
for sure.
not what we saw. But what happens is some sort of scrambler device.
Sure.
Throws off the ship's kind of like a magnet on a compass, as they said.
Yeah. Throws off the navigation
on the ship. They felt they had to explain what GPS stood for.
Yeah, because this is 1996.
It's like it's a very new thing. These global positioning satellites. We are. It's very new, so just gotta.
Garmin had not yet popularized.
Yeah, no Garmin yet. So what happens is the ship gets thrown off course. It's a British warship, and then China is coming in like, "Hey, you're in our waters," and they're like, "No, we're not."
Right, because as far as
both, according to both people's equipment, both are correct, but Britain doesn't know they're in the wrong place, and so the stealth boat, which is Carver's guys, they drill a hole in the ship, which apparently we didn't go back to the beginning to see Gerard Butler. Apparently, Gerard Butler is the lead seaman in this movie.
If there's any position I could lead in life, it would be lead seaman.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think we all have.
No.
We've already done it.
Yeah, actually. But I wouldn't want to be like
at least once.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be like the seaman receiver. You know what
I
mean?
No.
I want to just be the seaman. You know what I mean? I want to be like the giver, not the... You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I want to be the dick, not the swallower. The banana, not the peanut butter. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like the monkey, not the vine. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Got one more.
Quite.
I'm trying to think something. I probably give me like 2 seconds. Like the I want to be like the toothbrush, not the mouth. You know what I mean? But I already did a mouth one, didn't I?
Come on, 2 more. You got it in you.
I want to be like the bitch, not the Jesse. You know what I mean? Like like the Knicks, not the not the Nets. You know what I mean? That's all I got. Let's get out of here. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? You know exactly what I mean.
The Coke, not the Big K Cola.
That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we move on. That's how we move on right there.
That's where you move.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, it's good.
So let's take the high road here.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. I wasn't gonna. That's kind of jumping ahead quite a bit. We were just on.
Well, I was just gonna say we could take the high road. Man.
We could take the high road.
No spoilers.
Later in the movie, and then what happens right now is, so they drill into the British ship and they steal nukes because, like, duh. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. This is James Bond. This is what we do: is we steal nukes. And
we love nukes. It's the only weapon that people can easily recognize.
Yeah. So missiles missing, ship sunk, and no one knows where it is because the coordinates were off. So the last known coordinates are miles another way, and so it's hard to find. They figure that out later, and they find it, of course, because, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's James Bond. And so that sends headlines about, and then James Bond only has 48 hours to, find the ship.
Yeah. And at this stage, we already know things are amiss because MI6 is getting reports of this happened. Like, we just heard about this. How is there already a newspaper reported about it? That's when we start to get our feelers crept on that something may be amiss.
Because Elliot Carver
is a bitch.
Controls the news.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our opening song.
Oh, yes. Let's.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Visually, I gotta say, visually, this was a really fun, opening theme that we got. I had been really unimpressed lately with what we had gotten. I was really hard on for, the just, straight up silhouette, hard black bodies, moving over whatever bullshit in the background. But this one was nice.
Like shadowy figures.
Yeah.
We're not, yeah.
These shadowy figures of the night. No, these silhouettes of women. I got these shadows.
The dark black figures in my brain.
Yeah, these ghouls. No, they're fucking naked women, but anyway.
But yeah, no, it was really tasteful. It looked really good. We had a lot more clothed women, which was unfortunate to be seen this late. But we're getting into where this is kind of the norm now.
Censorship.
This is before sundresses,
and,
so...
Yeah, and I understand it, and it's fine. It was still, like, very evocative. You know, I was half-masked at least through most of it.
I was 75 masked, my friend.
Right. I mean, I'm walking around at 50, so, you know.
Yeah, I'm walking at 50, you know what I mean?
Yeah, visually it was really interesting. Going through the whole movie, it was kind of disappointing that they leaned really heavy into, like, the, like, coding kind of hacking theme that they went for it.
Yes.
Me and Tyler talked. It felt like it might have fit maybe more so with the previous
with
movie.
GoldenEye.
Well, you
With
got
this one, but...
With this being pre-Neo, this is also pre-9/11. So you got to think, like, you know...
Well, that's the thing. It almost would have made, like, way more sense if this was, like, post, like, The Matrix or something. Like, we were just getting a bunch of, like, code language in there.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I felt like that scene would have fit a little bit better with GoldenEye.
Yeah.
But visually, fantastic. The song, fine enough. It wasn't a bad song, and I think it's better than the last couple we've had just because they haven't been super bangers. But
a lot of the white, flowy backgrounds giving me the Everything or Nothing video game vibes.
Right.
A lot of the stuff they used. I felt like a lot of this movie. I think Everything or Nothing, the video game, if you are familiar, audience, I know you guys aren't. I've talked about it. Although I played it with you one day.
yeah.
But I feel like they just kind of take a little bit from every Pierce Brosnan movie and they just made it into one big long
Adventure,
story.
yeah.
That if Everything or Nothing was a movie, I'd totally be into way more than any of the Bond movies.
When I mean, you can't help but do that when you take the best of and then just staple it together.
Yeah.
You just have hours of the best of.
And the way the story's stapled together in the video game.
What do you think Nightfire kind of stapled in there?
I didn't play any Nightfire, so I couldn't weigh in, unfortunately.
You play Nightfire at all?
No. I hear, though, it was like one of the best.
I've always heard positive reviews. Very positive reviews. So.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I'll have to try to find that. I couldn't find it. I was just at a used game store the other day. I was trying to find a copy because I thought it'd be cool to kind of get into that.
It might be one of those ones you have to order online because it might be
Well,
like $30.
I'll tell you something,
Yeah.
too. Once we get this thing hooked up, we can probably get some PS2 emulators running.
Oh,
on
yeah,
it.
we could emulate it. You're
That'd
right,
be
yeah.
fun. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, lots of fun stuff. We find Bond. He's banging a Danish broad. You know, he's over there trying to learn Danish. We're pretty sure we saw a gooch. Harley's not.
I don't think so, man.
We
We went
freeze
frame by
framed,
frame.
and I'm at least mostly confident that we saw Gooch, or at least like the very end of a butt cheek fold going into Gooch.
Yeah.
And I mean, we could have way too long of a conversation on the fine delicacies of where Gooch ends and butt cheek fold starts, but
Yeah. We aren't going to do that here. We already kind of did it.
But
the
I
thing
also
is-
don't agree. I just don't think that there was enough evidence, not only evidence, but simply skin to really give us the answers that we need, brother.
no. But what it was evocative, because as far as my brain is concerned, if my
Is it evocative or provocative?
well, provocative with something, but you can like be evocative
evocative.
too, I guess.
I'm not familiar with evocative, but
Well, you said it twice now. It's
you
like-
went to more college than I did, so I just assumed
Yeah,
you were right.
I see. Yeah,
You
but
know?
I think it's provocative.
But
I'm sorry,
the
I'm not
thing
trying to
is,
be like Joe Rogan.
Evocative, bringing strong images, memories, or feelings to mind.
What's provocative?
Yeah, can I
What's
get that
provocative?
definition?
Yeah, let's get provocative.
did they just have two different words for no fucking reason? Is that what's going on?
Provocative, causing annoyance, anger, or another strong reaction, especially deliberately. So they
Oh,
both
so
kind of
they're
work.
kind of the same
They
thing.
both kind of
Okay,
work.
so they're
I
kinda
love
the
to
same
be
They're,
right twice rather than wrong twice.
Okay, so
They're
kinda the same
synonymous.
thing. Sure.
Are they? Like being hot
I
and
hate
handsome.
I hate days like this where you wake up and it's like, you want to hear a new word? And a million times today you want to hear it? It's like, I hate you. I hate you.
Anyhow, there's just a shot where we can at least agree she was excited to be in bed with Pierce Brosnan.
I feel like
I was excited to
I
be
at
in
least
bed.
saw some vagina sweat. You know what I mean?
Well, we can agree that she was excited to be there and didn't wear panties.
Yes.
Like, there's no way there was any kind of covering.
She was
that was shown.
She was working
Well,
really hard. Yeah, she was working really hard.
what does happen is sometimes they can put like a taping thing over there, so it's like a
and
nude.
then draw it on.
Well, no, they just do like a nude skin
I'll be
coloring
honest, I think
thing,
this
and
is
it's
probably pre-vagina tape.
Alright.
Like vagina tape seems like a Me Too kind of thing. Not Me Too, but like a 2000s type of thing.
I'm just saying, this is 97. They may have been still trying to maintain the integrity of a woman to make sure they didn't show a vagina.
I mean, yeah.
This is the James Bond franchise, and this is pre-2000.
Well, I will say, though, I do almost kind of...
You're right!
The 90s might have been right around that time that they were like, hey, we probably...
Sex was starting to be, like, more like we need to put it under, like, a little bit of jurisdiction.
I feel like the FCC in the 90s was much more, like, strict. You know what I mean? Because if you... Eminem said the FCC won't let me be me on MTV. So
I mean, have more like, truer words ever been spoken?
I don't think so. So it's like, and that was in the 90s that he said that. So it's like the FCC was very like, okay, you can't do this, this, and this.
Won't let me be.
Whereas like, won't let me be. Like in the 80s, it was easier to be like, okay, like that's not a vagina, but those are boobs. You know what I mean? Like we can see boobs. You know
I love boobs.
Which is cool.
You ever seen boobs before?
But a secret boob and like a side boob is different than like just titties.
What?
Right?
Define a secret boob.
Well, like
any boob you've ever seen in a Bond.
A secret boob where it's like she comes out and
where it's like everything
it's like that
plus the nipple.
It's that 2 frames of her coming out of her room being like, ah, and then like putting the fucking towel up. Yeah. That's a secret boob.
I love secret boobs.
You know what I mean?
Secret boobs. Any boob you've seen in a Bond movie. That's a secret boob.
Boobs.
I know. We've just seen full on boob. Remember that one we saw Bush?
Well, like I'm saying, if you see a movie where a chick comes out and she's like, "What's up?" It's like Halle Berry, or what's that movie where isn't Halle Berry short tits?
Oh, like Swordfish?
Yes, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. She comes out, she's like, "What's up?" She got her titties just fucking flopping. She's like, "What's up?" And it moves the story forward. She's like, "Yeah, I got my titties out. What's up, bitch?"
That is the most. This is the like hilarious thing you always hear is like, I think even in I don't know where I've heard it, but.
I know.
Just the thing women talk about when they go like, I'm only okay with nudity if it moves the story.
That's Game of Thrones. It was the fucking Emilia Clarke who said that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. Because she
only
like,
if it moves the story forward. It's like,
but get
you
this.
can also
the first episode is her getting. Yeah, that's moving the fucking story forward, all right.
I'm gonna clip that out no matter what we do with it,
dude. That is perfect visuals too, though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know what's happening here.
I just like it's just so funny to me because you could do so. What situation needs the nudity? You know, where you can't just imply like, oh, they had sex.
Titanic, where he drew her naked.
But couldn't it just be like she drops a sheet and you see from here up?
No, because they had to draw her.
He's just draw. Okay, so maybe
but you don't need to show
the drawing. You can see drawing nipples.
Yeah.
You don't have to see real nipples. Like, she doesn't actually have to show her nipple. You know what I mean? Like, there's no... Find me a scenario where it's absolutely necessary that you couldn't get by without it. Yeah. That's why that statement is funny.
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
All right.
Okay, you got me.
Here's the scenario.
Here we go.
Okay, all right.
All right. There's been a murder. At the hands of a woman, right? And it's a woman prostitute. So they bring pictures of her vagina in, and they go to the recent people who've been arrested seeing this woman, and they show pictures of her vagina, and they go to the line of men like, do you recognize this vagina? And then men, it's like a reverse kind of thing where it's like, be like, no, that's the vagina. That's the one that belonged to her, So it's like they have a line of vaginas.
But couldn't you just...
No, I'm almost confident whatever you're going to say.
This, and they can just say that it's a picture of a vagina, and the guys are just sitting there like, I don't recognize that vagina.
I find that unlikely. Because earlier in that movie where this all happens and it makes sense, you would see the vagina in clear frame.
I think titties, no matter what, boobs, breasts, should be universally accepted.
I don't think that's ever going to come up. By the way, they also never... show, third base type genitalia.
I watch different movies than you.
It's called porn. They're not movies.
Is that what it is?
I think no matter what, they shouldn't be showing pussy or dick in film. But I think,
I disagree, because I think it's fun. But I'm saying, my argument was just like, you never need it. Is it fun? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Grand scheme of things, though, obviously we're just off track here, but I would want to point out the fact that it is extremely more evocative for like a rear view of somebody
There's
walking.
that word again.
Of like a rear view, because I'm thinking specifically of Sin City. I know I was talking to you about it recently. One of the scenes in there's like a fully nude woman, and you see her kind of like walking forward, and she's very nude, but you see her like from the rear, so like shadows are very downcast, so there's no detail.
Yeah.
You can really get out of it, but like that is good. It's dynamite. It sells the scene. It brings forth that she's very confident being naked and approaching whatever's coming through, and that she can talk her way out of it.
Yeah.
If it's the scene, it works. It can be done.
Yeah, let's just, we'll all just agree to disagree on all our nudity.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually, we're gonna have a Content Crisis OnlyFans starting here soon, where you can actually sign up and see my butthole. So if you guys are interested in seeing a photo and/or video of my butthole, follow me on OnlyFans.
Vote now on your favorite Content Crisis host's butthole.
Content Crisis Hotline at yahoo.com.
No, we
And
need the
here are the
OnlyFans link.
buttholes.
Here are the buttholes.
On YouTube. That's
We
funny.
can say it. I'll just have to find something really funny to put in there instead.
Nice. Oh, that's good times.
All right, man. Let's.
Are you actually going to do this OnlyFans thing?
I mean, I can, dude.
Is it free to do
to
it?
sign up?
You can create OnlyFans
Yeah.
for free. It's just
Once
can
you
make
get
a free
income,
or
do you
a
have to like give like how does that work?
Well, taxes aren't real. We live in the U.S., so that's
Sure, yeah.
irrelevant.
But like in a real sense, like does it cost money once you start making money? Like
You would have to pay. You get a 1099. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So OnlyFans. Well, how does OnlyFans make money? Do they advertise?
Wait a minute.
They take a commission in, so
Yeah,
like
right.
when they subscribe to you. So
Oh, okay.
if,
So
if
when you
you
get
do,
money, they make some of
yeah,
your money.
yeah.
Okay.
You can set your own subscription. Like,
So it's like you can
different-
set it as only free, and then you can like sell like your Snapchat, like your premium Snapchat on it or something. Make some money off of that. Off of.
I think you got to
OnlyFans.
sell your butthole for like 99 cents a subscription.
Dude, I will definitely sell my butthole for 99 cents a pop. I will definitely. I'll spread that shit. I will. Dude, I'll make some money off that shit. I'll bring y'all to dinner.
That will be.
Come on, dude.
I look forward to
Steak
that.
dinners on the butthole.
I look forward to that.
All right, here we go, dude.
Dinner
On
on your butthole.
On butt, dude. I put that on butt.
Put that shit on butt, buddy. So just like James Bond's
Yeah.
butt, or the Danish girl's butt,
Ooh.
they are banging. Moneypenny calls. He's very hot and heavy at the moment. And he just says, he's coming. Not like that. That he's on his way.
You know that
His
song
name
"Coming
James
Undone" by
Bond.
Korn? Wait.
I'm coming. Hang up.
Yeah, we didn't get the rest.
So he finishes up there. He's driving the classic Aston Martin, per usual. You don't always see the classic Aston Martin, but it seems that they have been paying homage to the old classic Bonds. In the beginning of these two movies, he's been driving the classic Aston
And it's
Martin
probably because they don't
Conrad
want to like
drove.
damage or deface it. They want it to be like an intact, beautiful
Yes.
automobile.
However, in No Time to Die, they damage the fuck out of that old Aston Martin.
That is fine.
But, higher budgets, I guess. Whatever.
Don't spoil
We'll
it.
make another one.
Yeah.
So, after that, the airport, like they said, we kind of have established what's going wrong in the world and where James Bond is going. And Elliot Carver's wife is named Paris Carver. We have no women innuendo names in this movie. A little
Kind of a
disappointing.
shame. Yeah. At least Waylon, like I was hoping for just something.
I mean, her name could have been like All In or All the Way in Me or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
something like that. You know what I mean? Like an innuendo. Like,
Yeah.
fuck me in my face.
Yeah, fuck
But-
me in my face.
Granted, so I mean, and overall, like we've kind of been hitting like the more like serious notes in the Bond movies, like the past couple or the past few now.
Yeah.
So maybe that's trying to get away from it. I don't know. Again, this is kind of the gap where I don't really know James Bond from here on out.
Despite Xenia on the top.
Yeah,
From GoldenEye, yeah.
yeah. Okay, you're right. That's actually really good.
Yeah, it was a good one. That's why I just... Cause
Even Moneypenny hit on that one, and that was
Yeah. She's like, hope you stay on the top of things, Bond.
yeah.
By the way, Moneypenny.
Absolute babe.
Yeah.
I'd give her all kind of money pennies.
Exactly.
It's copper.
Money shot. Oof.
Yes, getting copper.
Get those guitar dollars. So the actress that plays Moneypenny
is a whore.
Do you know the actress's name? Do you remember?
Something Bond.
I might have only.
I fucked it. Ah! It's okay. We'll fix that in post. Don't worry.
Her name is Samantha Bond, which I think is a hilarious fucking coincidence.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, coincidental.
It's coincidence.
I mean, possible.
Or do you think they were casting and it was like, what's her last name? Get her in here.
I mean, for how little of an impact she had on the overall story and how little screen time she got, maybe.
I mean, it would be a coincidence if her name was like...
Read these 5 lines.
Right.
And sit in this car once.
I think it would be more of a coincidence if her name was like...
Are you gonna...
Moneypenny.
You gonna cunt me on a coincidental name?
I think you're being a bit of a cunt yourself, buddy. Let's move on, huh?
No.
Yeah, you're right. That is a coincidence, I think. I'm just splitting hairs. I'm being a dick.
I know.
That's kind of what I do.
The only way this could have been closer if her name was Jamie Bond.
Yeah.
Her middle name was 007 for no goddamn reason.
Jamie 007.
Danger
Bond.
Jamie Danger Bond.
Yeah.
Oh.
Austin Danger Powers. Alright, so... Yeah, he got... So his an old flame of Bond's, Paris Carver, she is Elliot Carver's wife. And she is not... Yes, she's a very, very attractive lady.
Woo!
Very attractive. You're talking about the brown hair girl? Or Secret Agent Land?
Yeah, the first girl.
Okay, yeah.
She's got the collarbones of Aphrodite.
Oh my goodness.
So he's hoping to use her to get some information.
And pussy.
Oh, I forgot. That's one Bondism I did not write down. And we did a lot of talking during this one. I think maybe we'll not do the microphone next time.
It's mildly distracting as far as
a lot of extra talking that we don't usually do, but it seemed to keep everybody awake actually. So maybe so.
I kept the energy going.
But what happened is, it's like she's you used to go with her. You know, M's saying this to Bond. By the way, M's just got a drink in the back of the car as they're taking Bond to the airport. She's like, the world's on fire. Give me a drink. I think it's funny. So somehow has an old flame, and then, you know, you use her to get information, whatever means necessary, as they always say. Mm-hmm. You know, that's his excuse for just going around and banging everything that moves. And Moneypenny goes...
Country.
I don't remember if it's either Moneypenny or M, but one of them says... You just need to pump some information out of her. And they say you'll have to decide how many pumps are necessary. So you gotta miss that one.
Well, I feel like he made like a comment to Moneypenny too. It's like that was kind of in the veins of like, well, how many pumps will you take or something like that. Like I feel like he made some kind of like barely slight at her in that conversation.
It was
too, but I can't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
And maybe it's just because Moneypenny was saying it and that I'm thinking that. But.
Yeah. Anyhow, you just have to decide how many pumps, James.
Sum it up.
I have to get pumped into it.
Did you say that as James I like to get pumped into? Oh, that's funny. Alright, so... so he seduces her. She slaps him upon meeting him because, you know, apparently they broke up abruptly and she wasn't too thrilled with that.
In case you've ever been a Bond woman, you've been... most certainly broken up with abruptly.
Any woman slaps James Bond, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You know.
You should slap harder. If you ever have the opportunity.
Yeah. So, he gets some information out of her. She actually kind of volunteers the information. He sits up waiting for her. He thinks people are going to be sent to kill him. I imagine that's what he was thinking. He put the silencer on his gun. He's sitting there just throwing down shots of vodka.
Yeah.
Wasted.
And, you know, she comes in and gives this whole speech about, I was looking for your obituary. And
yeah. I do like, you know, as Bond waited, he was like, yeah, I was wondering who Carver was going to send, and it was her walking in. It's like he knew.
He knew. And he pumps that information right out of her. Wow. Nice little intense scene there. A lot of biting from Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, like, just, we talked about it. I even had him reverse, because, like, just the first scene of him, like, going in for the kiss was just like
very
just
very handsome.
it was hot.
Very handsome.
Harley was at least full mast.
Hot action from a handsome guy.
75%.
Hot action from a handsome guy.
Hot action from a handsome guy. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, hot and handsome synonymous. So anyway, he gets the information.
One pump at a time.
One slow pump at a time.
Any pumps necessary.
Any pump necessary. He goes and he steals the decoder or scrambler.
Of Independence.
The scrambler. It's his national treasure now. The Declaration of Independence. Goes and steals the scrambler, knocks over a $300 million satellite.
$300 million.
Yeah. Because fuck off.
Yeah. And there was no attention brought to it. It got knocked over and it fell, and we just moved on with the scene.
Yeah.
Like that was the most damage that was done the entire movie, outside of probably that ship sinking.
The ship sinking. Yeah. So. And it's funny because we're not even halfway through at this point. But Bond breaks into some other place. So Elliot calls him and is like, "You got stuff that belongs to me," and calls a meeting with him. Bond parks like an asshole, by the way.
Jackass.
Excuse me. And runs upstairs to I guess he told him to meet in their room, their home. I don't know what's going on, but Paris, the woman he just laid the previous night, is dead on the bed.
Big rips.
Yeah, shame.
And it's all Bond's fault.
It's all Bond's fault.
Actual grieving done by Bond. Like he was actually upset, which is kind of weird.
It's an old flame of his, and it reignites.
One of 100 flames. These are just like 5 dozen burnout candles in his attic. He doesn't give a shit.
I would argue though, if there's enough talk between the two of them,
they definitely had a little bit more than
where she's saying, "Did I get too close?" and all this other stuff. What I do wrong. Bond had some attachment to this gal. Yeah. It was more than just...
There was a little more.
Bond just pumping for a night
yeah,
and moving on. She wasn't your standard issue Bond girl.
Not your disposable wet wipe Bond girl.
Right. This was a relationship. This is a rare thing for James Bond, for him to be in an actual relationship, and she got too close probably. He moves on. He's doing the spy thing. He's like, look, I got women to fuck. And
I've got means necessary. I
got the world to save and women to fuck. What do you want from me, lady? So, anyway, Paris is dead. He's very sad about it. We have our the most hilarious hitman. Not the most hilarious, but a very funny.
He was great.
One of my favorite hitmen that I've seen in a movie, as far as humor. I don't have a lot of funny hitmen.
No, not a lot of funny hitmen.
Yeah. But he's very embarrassed because they can't open the car.
And he's like, "Hello? Yeah. I'm very embarrassed about this. They don't know how to open the car. Can you help me? Yeah."
Yeah. He's like, let me do it. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
Like, he was just like, this isn't usually part of the contract. This is fucking weird. Do you mind just help me get this over with?
And then we go extreme on Bond, keeping their serious vibe. So Bond's phone has kind of a taser thing, but he's been using
20,000 volts. It's just like prongs that come out the bottom of it. Apparently it has a proximity effect and doesn't have to touch things.
Right, yeah, so that's what, shocks this guy. He's able to get the gun away from him. Well, not the gun away from him. He points his own gun back at him. And Bond just...
shoots him in the head.
Bam!
Like, without a doubt, Pierce Brosnan is the coldest James Bond we've gotten so far. There have just been some evil, not had to be kills that were kills so far, and it's rough.
Yeah. So he runs out into the garage, and one of the cool things is his BMW in this movie is remote control from his phone. He flips it open and he's doing a lot of thumb tag. I'm not sure how gas acceleration kind of works in this remote control device.
Well, you swipe forward for acceleration. You do it in intervals. So, one swipe is 5, 2 swipes is 10, 15, etc.
But see, he's not doing a lot of that. He's just, it's kind of one motion. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not real sure how that works, but he's...
Sponsored by Ericsson, too.
Sponsored by Ericsson, don't forget.
And a Radio Shack.
Probably.
So, has his car pull up to him. He hops in the back seat. And then he's driving the car from the back seat, which is, kind of a cool
It's pretty sweet
thing going on. His car's got... We actually see some of these fucking car gadgets. I can't reiterate enough how disappointed I was with the BMW convertible in GoldenEye.
Yeah, with us getting the full loadout and
we get
none of it being
all
utilized.
the details and nothing. And then we don't get, really much description of this new BMW, and then it has the works, of course. He's popping people's tires. He's letting spikes out the back. He's shooting missiles at people. I mean, he's rolling through this
and
garage.
all within just this pretty small segment. It wasn't the scene dragged on just a mild amount, but it wasn't a 14-minute boat chase.
It was
the only thing I can ever compare these things to, but it was actually pretty fun the whole way through.
One of the worst Bond scenes comes from one of the better Bond movies.
Yeah.
It's funny. Live and Let Die is probably up around an 8.5, if not for that goddamn chase.
Fucking boat scene, bro.
But, so he gets out of there, he grabs the fucking... So then, this is kind of a Bondism in and of itself, I would say. I also skipped another Bondism, we'll hit it right after this. Because he doesn't say anything, but what happens is, he tucks and rolls out of the car. So the car keeps going.
Yeah.
And they're still chasing the car, and of course he's got his remote control, so drives it up onto the roof of the parking garage, drives it off the ledge, honk, 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 so people get out of the way, and crashes it right into an Avis rental car place, which is kind of a Bondism in and of itself.
Yeah.
Because, and it's cute. He meets him at the airport and talking about his rental car and all this shit, so somewhat of a ism in and of itself.
Definitely a big novelty in it being a rental car service.
Yeah. So there's that. As he's escaping the building after he stole the scrambler, though, he's tussling with some dudes. Throws a guy down in the paper press. Excuse me, and of course it fucks everything up, and he says they'll print anything these days.
Boom.
Not bad.
Bondism.
It's not French, that's for sure.
It's not French.
It's very on plot, though.
So small.
So, alright, so we move on from there. He gets captured at a point. I'm not real... The details are a little fuzzy at this point, but I think we should just try to move through the movie now. Somehow or another, they end up in Elliot Carver's building. Apparently, what was German dude's name?
Dr. Kaufman?
Stamper?
Stamper.
There we go. He's apparently a specialist in chakra torture.
Yeah.
Well, he was learning from the guy who...
the best guy with the record of 52 hours of torture.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
So maybe I'm confused, because was he not talking about the guy who was in the room who killed Paris as the guy that he was learning under? Was that not the guy who he referenced? Because that's what I was thinking this whole time.
Well, that guy said he's not a master in that, but he's proficient or something like that.
Okay.
Something to that effect.
Okay. So maybe this is just part of his,
Yeah.
Carver has a lot of people under his
He's
pay.
got a lot of guys doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. When he had mentioned that, my brain just automatically went to, that was the guy working under him, so there was, a minor revenge plot going in that.
Could be. Let's just go with that. It sounds better.
Sure.
So, something about chakra porn or something is what's going on here.
A lot of butt plugs involved. More than I thought there would be.
And, so dude's like, have fun. And then Bond's like, I'm not staying for this. He's handcuffed to Miss Lynn or whatever, Waylin. And kicks a table down. Stuff's going everywhere. Big chase. Gets a MP5. He's just spraying it all over the place. They get away. They're tearing down the sign. And
handcuffed this whole time.
Handcuffed together. Find themselves a motorcycle. And, all the awkward things that go along with his left hand being tied to her right hand, and a lot of goofy motorcycle interactions that go on.
Which to me would have been obvious as one person drives, the other person sits backward and lets their arm just go through, but This is a Bond movie, and we need things to be...
Well, you figure if her right hand's to his left hand, someone's got to be...
Well, sure, he can do the clutch. I can sit like this and like...
Oh, you're saying she goes...
Like, yeah, she sits backwards. Yeah, I mean, she's got one hand, so like, shit, she could have the gun. Yeah, we've all played, third-person shooter games, okay? You're sitting on the back of a vehicle, you're in a chase scene, and you just shoot the people catching up to you. We've all been there.
I guess... Let's pretend my left hand, your right hand are connected, right? And so then Alright, so who's driving the motorcycle?
You driving.
I'm going to drive?
Yeah, drive.
Okay.
Put your hand on the steering.
But the handlebars are up here, you know?
No, like backwards, like this. There you go.
So what, your hands are...
You're only one hand needs to be back. Tyler, you still drive. You do all the hard work. His hand just has to be back there for proximity to the handcuff. But only one!
Wait.
Only your right...
I'm so confused.
I could make this work.
All right, let's go. Let's move forward.
Better than Bond.
Let's get forward here. Let's see where we at.
All right, so there's two Bondisms in this. One of them I didn't write down, but I know it. First, let's take the high road. They go up onto the rooftops. They're doing a lot of motorcycle riding on the high road.
Yeah.
And then they drive through some clothes, and he says, "Keep your shirt on." Also, they crash into someone's bedroom, and there's someone having sex. It's just a visual of a girl. Looking up, disturbed, is like, "What the fuck are you driving your motorcycle through my living room for?" And then
she goes back to it.
She smiles and she's like, "Here we go."
It's definitely a whorehouse, She's just there for...
Some sort of brothel. She doesn't really care what happens
to the
house.
It made me want to call my wife.
So, yeah.
Listen, you don't know my life, guy.
We got the Bondisms. They get away. They slide under some helicopter blades.
Yeah. That was
blow
lit.
Up the helicopter. It's good times. Yeah. So
a little gassy, excuse me. Sorry. I mean, if the people at home can hear me shitting myself, I am very sorry.
And if they can't, this has been weird.
They probably can.
I shouldn't have said anything.
I regret everything I've ever done.
I do.
What?
All right.
So
Jack Wade.
They take some showers publicly. Wayland apparently has
no bra.
No bra.
We don't believe in bras, which is fine.
She tries
Free
to
the nipple.
betray him.
Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. She tries to betray him, handcuff him to the shower pipe, and then he just goes like, "Well, fuck this public shower," and he breaks the pipe and walks off. Mm-hmm. She gets attacked by some henchmen. She kung fu's him.
Honestly, kicks some pretty good amount of ass. She did exceptional. Good for her.
Exceptional ass kicking.
Yeah, a lot of kicking. That's where it seemed to be her core skill set.
Well, you got to figure women, built like a triangle. Strongest on the bottom, weaker on the top.
I've never seen a woman built like a triangle.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Now you're cutting it up, huh?
I see what you're saying.
There's a cunt dial, It just switches on the table.
Very strong base, yeah.
Get your cunt.
It's like spin the bottle on who's going to be the cunt next, you know what I mean?
Yeah, men are generally like the opposite. Like
right. Men are like upside down triangles,
More rectangle. If you're a healthy guy, more rectangle. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm a cylinder.
But like a healthy woman should be a triangle. You know what I mean?
Define health.
I think like an athletic kind of health.
This is a hot woman or a...
No, I'm not.
Pretty woman.
A handsome
Oh,
woman.
a handsome woman. Okay.
Yeah, it's a handsome lady boy. Anyway, so let's
handsome lady boy.
I've always wanted.
So she's got some base of operations.
Hey, I'll tell you what though. I know you just opened up Pandora's box to everybody, but there's like this like weird part of like Pornhub that this is the reason why I gotta like stop watching porn. Yeah.
Just making sure you know.
No, I'm aware of where I am right now. There's this weird part of Pornhub where it's like it'll be like, I'm about 2 minutes into it, like wow, this is awesome, and then it's like, oh wait, that's a dude. And I'm like, well,
I guess I'll finish.
All right.
I'm already here.
Yeah, I'm already. That's why I'm like, I think I gotta stop watching porn, because I'm like, just jerking off to anything, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's just...
like, this guy's doing Jack in the Box. What am I...
Like, I wouldn't watch like a dude fuck a dude, right?
Right.
But if it's like a guy with a wig on, it's like, I can't really tell the difference when I'm really horny, right?
Why not?
But that's when I'm just, but like...
That's funny.
I mean, honestly though, real,
Sure.
you know what I mean? In a porno, you know what I mean? If a person's in front of me and he's like, hey, I got a wig on, you trying to fuck? No, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, if a guy was like, hey, I got a wig on, hee hee, I'd be like, oh, I'm pretty wasted. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have sex with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
I mean, why are you looking at me like, I mean, come on, man. I'm being honest here, man. I'm being honest with the world.
As long as you're honest.
I mean, honestly,
I'm just glad you're happy.
only God can judge me. I'm not happy with that.
Oh.
I'm not happy with that. I'm just telling you what's
You
reality.
might be doing it wrong then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, sure. Like, what do you mean? You're looking at me like I'm bad shit, man. I mean, to the bottom of this thing.
You know who
what I'm
didn't
saying?
jerk off? James, because he had so much sex
like,
in this
when was the
movie.
last time you jerked off,
And,
man? You got a
so-
wife, and you should be like.
See,
a
I
pretty
tried
happy...
to do that sweet segue thing you always talk to me about, but
Oh,
then
no,
you
let's
didn't
go.
let
Let's
me
run
do
it back. Sorry, what'd you say?
So you know who didn't jerk off was James Bond in this movie. So
did.
Jerk off once.
he was getting so much ass. And
so much puss.
what happens is Wei Lin's got this secret lair. She's got all these weapons.
I want to fuck a long time.
James is fucking around with all the gadgets, kind of doing the,
Yeah, grand
Typical
scheme of things,
Q-bit.
like, had some pretty cool stuff in there, too. Like, he had the fan that shot out, like, the darts with, like, the cords
Indeed.
and everything. I feel like whatever organization Wei Lin's involved in with
Yeah.
NQ should get together,
the
because
Chinese Secret Service is killing it.
that would be fun.
In 1997, I
Yeah.
don't know how they're doing now.
I would say also killing it.
Probably.
You know, killing
they're
something.
finding moon crystals, right?
Yeah, they're doing a pretty goddamn good job at that.
Yeah,
I
but they
didn't
used
know-
up all the stealth crystals in this mission.
They used up all the stealth crystals on a stealth boat. We get to see our friend Jack Wade again.
I love Jack Wade. He was
He's
such
like,
a pleasure
Jimmy,
to interact with.
Jimmy.
In the last movie, he did nothing but make James seem about like this small in the grand scheme of the
Jimbo!
story. And it was just so good. Like, it just seemed like it was like one of like James's like longtime friends, and that's why they had that relationship, even though they literally just met the last movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wade was
Yeah,
the
good
best.
times. I do remember now how they got captured. I'll just explain it really quick. So he brings a scrambler to Wade and CIA, and they go, "Oh, blah, blah, blah. Could you find the ship?" And then James found the ship, and then she's also investigating the ship. Don't know how the fuck she found it. And then what happens is they both dive, and she thinks he's a bad guy. He thinks she's a bad guy. Then the ship
Turns
is
out they're
apparently
both horny.
ship is apparently sitting on some sort of thing that's gonna fall.
I hate when ships are horny, man.
Yeah. And so they swim out of there. They got to abandon their oxygen tank, and apparently they can hold their breath forever. And they get to the surface, and then Elliot Carver and his goons have taken over the
I hate
boat, and that's
goons.
why goons.
Goon
And
Twilight.
that's why they get taken to Elliot Carver's building with the banner on it that apparently supported their weight and all that. And then and here we are.
2022. Alright, so we're going Elliot Carver, questionable motives, just wants to sell newspapers. Yeah, I don't...
Like, yeah, grand scheme of things, like the control, the influence, like the ability to make things happen, like I feel like that's more of like a psychological benefit to him rather than any of like a tangible benefit.
Yeah.
But like they didn't really divulge into like what he was like truly getting out of it
what are
outside of any of that. Like, what is the motive? Like, we get the end product, but not the like what him personally is getting out of it.
Yeah, like are you going for like is it all the conspiracy stuff? Like is it going for one world currency or whatever, one world government, all that kind of
Yeah.
shit? Like what's your deal, Elliot?
So that's something, but like again, that would have been exactly a Bond thing to do, was to spend another 20 minutes developing that subplot and making this movie last 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But
These movies are already too fucking long. They could be like 45 minutes and I'd be happy.
yeah, this one definitely did like one of the better jobs of getting us through it.
Getting to the fucking
This was
point.
less boring in getting from segment to segment.
Yeah. And they peppered in enough action to where you just go, okay.
Kind of like a helicopter chase or something. You know what I mean? Something that's going to get us from point A to point B.
Well, they've definitely taken notes from like some of the action movies from like
Sure.
that, from early 90s, mid 90s, we're now in late 90s.
Just like,
with this coming out and
Like True Lies. You know what I mean? There's a lot
Yeah.
of helicopters, a lot of like skyscrapers. You know what I mean? Things that are tall with lots of bullets. You know what I mean?
Need height, bullets,
bullets,
bang.
things like helicopters, man.
Need things to go bang, people to bang.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Anywho.
Speaking of bang, Wei Lin gets there's a helicopter chase.
Yeah, that's where the the kind of segue I was trying to hear me kind of say it a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the fuck the helicopter chase. Oh, the helicopter chase was when they slid the motorcycle under. That's what it was.
Sure.
Yeah. And that
was the motorcycle chase. And that's where I used up those Bondisms.
At the end, Elliot, the fucking weird German doctor, is like, I want to fuck your face. And then...
So a lot of things happen. They get on the stealth boat. You know, they're finishing it together. There's bombs. There's all this stuff. There's a lot of platforms in said stealth boat. I don't know when we changed venues, but stealth boat is not big. I don't know why we're up here and we're falling so far.
The stealth boat from the inside seems to be about 3 stories and about like a football field long.
Yeah, but there's 13,000 whores in here, so what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
I've got 1 million whores.
Right.
So what happens with Wei Lin is she gets captured.
As is tradition.
Elliot Carver says, "Oh, is the missile ready to fire? Doofus face, whatever your name is."
Dr. Kaufman.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah." And so then he goes, "Okay, you've outlived your contract." Bang. And then
because this was after James had taken him under, like, you know, hostage or whatever. It's kind of like a bartering trip.
Give me a trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a trade, Gene.
He goes, "Well, it seems you don't. I always have a backup plan." He's like, "Yeah, so do I." And Bond, of course, planted explosives. Hit a grenade in a jar, and then apparently something made the jar explode, and then the grenade, you know, the lever releases, and then boom, and things happen, and everybody's shooting each other. And long story short, bang, 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 bang. We tie up Wei Lin. We throw her underwater.
Bang, bang.
Bond throws Elliot into a drill. Definitely should have heard the drill. Bond kicked it on. It's slowly moving towards him. And,
high-pitched whirring sound. There's no way.
And Bond says you give the people what they want. Lesson number 1 of media. And then Elliot didn't just have to sit there and wait for the drill to come the other 3 feet.
There was definitely a good amount of time for him to duck out of the way, but I think the implication was because Bond still had a loaded weapon at that time, right?
Probably.
So I
definitely calling back to somewhat the steamroller bit. Powers of.
It's like, bro, you could have made it.
Move. Anyway.
Yeah. I'd rather get shot than fucking
drilled
to death.
And then they missed the Bondism there. It was like, oh, that was drilling. Oh,
I drilled him in the face.
He really got drilled.
No.
You know.
Give him something.
You know. It's like, this is sponsored by Craftsman. Something, you know.
If you could
Thanks, DeWalt.
If you could change one thing about this movie, what would it be? What's the one thing you'd change? Actor, plot, setting. I mean,
I like everybody that played their roles. Setting. Let's get a little better on the design of the stealth boat. And then in the end, oh, by the way, Bond breathes oxygen into Wei Lin's lungs somehow, and then shit explodes, and then they escape, and they're on a piece of wreckage.
Yeah.
And
on its own, like, made for kind of like a decent scene as far as just being on water and the kiss scene, the explosion going up top, like that in an enclosed environment is fine. But just in the fact that, like, he's giving her absolutely nothing, but, like, she's drowning at this point, and he's just like, I'm gonna kiss you in the mouth
Here's
now.
some air I breathed. And they get out. She could hold her breath a long time. That must be a requirement for secret agents. But then they're on a piece of wreckage. The battleship's going by. And they're like, Bond, you out here? And then he's like, let's stay undercover. And then they bang. And then it's like, well, what? That's... Talk about the post-nut clarity there.
Yeah.
You know, you just go, no, we don't need rescued. We're going to bang. And then, like, as soon as you nut going, oh, no, what do we do
We've
now?
been fucked. I don't know what I was thinking.
I'd probably change that part of the movie. That's why I took the long way around, because I was like, I want it to make sense. But that's probably what I'd change is that part. Because that's the biggest post-nut clarity anyone's ever had.
Yeah.
I think.
We've been stranded. I'm going to have to eat you soon.
What's one thing you would change, Jason? Is there one thing you would change in this movie?
I honestly wouldn't have mind if we would have just, like, reworked how much time was spent on certain things to give Carver a little bit clearer of a motive rather than just general media control.
Yeah.
Because I feel like bad guys should have a clear... Like, we, as an audience, should have a clear vision of what the bad guy is looking for. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter what, by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was still kind of lost. It's just being a vague media control thing.
It seemed like he was just trying to sell more newspapers.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had to give this movie a bad summary, like, rich guy wants to sell more newspapers.
Newspaper salesman goes overboard.
Newsies, but worse.
Goes overboard for profit.
Yeah.
To increase profit margins. All right. So, do we want to guess budget for said movie?
What was last budget?
60.
So this was first movie, Pierce Brosnan.
65.
Second Pierce Brosnan.
Or yeah.
Oh, 69.8.
69.8?
69.8.
What do you
That's
got?
a really weird place to cut it off. I don't know. I feel like they'd probably be like in a similar thing. I don't really feel like this one was like very like fidelity wise much different. So I'd still call it maybe 60.
You are both way off. We are at 110.
Are you kidding?
Hey.
Where
don't
did
know.
they put the money?
Yeah.
All right, and so the last movie box office 356.4. What do you think this movie box office?
There's no way.
455.
There's no way we were going over a first new Bond.
455.
There's no way. I'm gonna call it 250.
Remember the trend
455.
is the first Bond
I'm going for
of a new Bond always goes, super high, and
Wait.
the next one never does quite as well. So,
Sure, 455.
okay, what's your guess?
250.
No, it didn't drop that far. 333.
333. Dang, that's still pretty good.
Still pretty good.
Still pretty good. Yeah, I guess if budget was still sitting at 110, they'd have to at least get a pretty decent return on
Right in the middle.
profit. Yeah.
We both got about halfway. Same amount, 120 way.
Yeah. So what would you rate it, Harley?
Man, I enjoyed it. Can I look at my ratings real quick? Because I feel like I got a lot of issues with everything. Alright. What? View to a Kill, I gave a 7.8. Was I fucking smoking?
You've made some questionable
Smoking
calls,
dope,
but
dude. Alright, well, this is a solid. I mean, I don't know, dude. I am fucking up. I need to go down a number grade on all these. Can you just put asterisk
-1?
Yeah, asterisk -1 because I really literally every single one of these -1.
Even on Goldeneye?
Every single one. I need them all
Okay.
down one because I obviously have fucked up all these.
that's the problem. Is like once we get at some
narrow.
point, we have a different perspective.
Okay. Well, I'm going. If I'm giving this an honest grade, I was thinking 7.8 earlier, but then after the ending, I was like 7.1. Like this is so losing me so bad, right?
Okay.
But
Maybe averaged out?
yeah, I think that like if I bring all these down, because I did not enjoy any of these nearly as much as I enjoyed this movie. It kept me kind of engaged. I liked what was her name?
The Asian
Wei Lin.
Yeah,
Wei Lin?
yeah, Wei Lin. I liked Wei Lin. Like probably. That's what I was saying earlier. Like that's my type. I like Asian girls.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As far as the story goes, did not follow a fucking thing that was going on. It was a goddamn mess.
No, you keep saying that, but you did. Like, literally, this guy just wants to sell more papers. And so he starts to start...
The problem is you might have gotten stuck in the role of like
if
I'm
you
looking
show-
for
if
the
you-
four
If
subplots.
you jump me, if you like drop me into the middle of one of these scenes, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, he's trying to get this so that this can happen. No, it was just like, oh, he's fighting that guy. Why? He's trying to sell more newspapers.
Basically...
You can explain it.
No, hold on. Just one sec, because
Sure.
I don't want people to think you're just retarded. Because basically, at the opening of the movie, we were talking a lot. And basically what is established is they did that scrambler thing, so the British ship's out of place, so that the Chinese think, hey, you're in our sea space, and they're like, we're not in your sea space, and then the drill happens, and they're like, we've been fired upon, and so then
Retaliation.
they shoot a Chinese missile. Of course, I think the stealth boat still shoots it, but anyway, it's to pit Britain and China against each other, to start war, so that then they can win the war, they can get the rights to China, sell newspapers. Influence more of the world with his news.
Fair enough, man. Seven.
You understood it. You would have got it if we weren't talking in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, 7-1.
Okay. What would you give it? What would you rate it, Jason?
I'm kind of mirroring that. Like the 7-1 was kind of what I was going into the end of this thinking, and I'm looking to see it's what I had as 7-2 here.
Daylights?
Living Daylights.
Yeah.
Shit, match it. 7-2.
Okay.
7-2 feels good. I honestly had a lot of fun with this. I do feel like we're moving into a different genre with the James Bond movies now. There's definitely more of an action hero focus, which I'm really fine with. I think the pace is kind of helping all of us maybe get through some of the stuff just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I definitely had fun with this one, and I'm excited to see if we maintain action hero phase through our next few, or if we go to a little bit of spy stuff. But I kind of like the direction we've been going with Bond lately.
I like that they kind of realized, hey, there doesn't have to be a crazy difference between action movie and spy movie.
Yeah.
Because I
It's
think
just
that's
the
a
spy
lot
movies
of what
had
happened.
so much downtime and dialogue that was like needless and tedious, and I feel like they've kind of found a way to fast pace some of that and get us to just like development.
Well, maybe, and might be just kind of like a long, drawn out conspiracy almost, but maybe a lot of those early Bond and spy movie tropes kind of came from some of those noir black and white films where they're, sitting there with a trench coat and quiet, dialogue. With the
I feel like more
cigarette.
stuff used to be on like dialogue too. Like it was about like listening to people talk and the conversations and like the, like the day-to-day spy work that kind of led to some of it rather than it just being the, the highlights.
Yeah, people have been doing cocaine and meth for long enough for their kids to be born. So like they were like born and they're like, oh, cocaine and meth, and then their kids are born and then they feel like these, genetic issues. You know what I mean? So they got ADD, and then they have kids, and it's like, oh shit. Then all of a sudden it's 1995, and it's like, oh, okay, well, what's going on?
Stimulation.
Pierce Brosnan. Stimulation. What's going on? Oh, I need a beer. We got a shot. All right, what's going on here? Let me get an Adderall. Calm it down. You know what I mean? 2022. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But listen, it's 1997, right? That's when this movie came out, right? Can I tell you? It's 1997. My name's Pierce Brosnan, and this. I was gonna think of like something off the top real quick, like a challenge or something.
Well, think about that while I give my rating.
Tyler, what do you rate this movie, man? This is my rate the movie challenge.
I was going to give this a 7.5 because I thought it was fun. Not quite so, strung out storyline wise.
Yeah.
Now, granted, a little simplistic on the storyline, but kept me entertained. Liked the car chase. I'm always a sucker for car chases. And 7.5. Yeah.
I really hope that they can at least keep this theme of like not having as much extended dry dialogue to fill in the gaps between plot points.
Yeah.
And that we can have kind of the same movement and the same inertia throughout the movie as we did with these, because I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with the remaining Bond movies if we keep a similar kind of vibe with this than what we've had.
I'm definitely ready for the Craig stuff.
Yeah.
6.5 on IMDb and a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What do they know?
Nothing.
I bet you they haven't watched them all.
Exactly.
True.
Those fucking amateurs.
They don't even have
All
a
right.
podcast.
You want to give the YouTube spiel?
Yeah. You can find us on YouTube at Content Crisis. You'll find all of our wacky videos. Love it. A lot of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. I would almost guarantee that 1,000% of you, 100% of you are not subscribed. So if you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed, press that subscription button, like the video, hit the bell icon, that way you get notified. And even if you hit the bell icon, you can turn off notifications in your settings, and we still get the spit back to YouTube. So that way it helps our algorithm. So thank you so much.
Exactly. Follow us on Twitter at Content Crisis 1. I think we're on Instagram, but I don't think we posted anything. Maybe we have. This is going to be a long time from now. And hit us up on our email, contentcrisishotline at yahoo.com.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, subscribe, all that shit. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and good night.